Alright, so we're going to start this video off with a package that my friend Ian sent to me. He was looking for some stuff that was on clearance at some stores around me that weren't located around him. We live in different parts of the country, so I picked him up and I sent him to him, and he was just really grateful that I did that. So he had this game that he was going to trade anyway, and I didn't have it, so he decided to just send it to me instead of paying the shipping. And this is a copy of a game called Great Greed. This is an RPG for the Game Boy that you don't ever hear about. It's kind of goofy. I'm going to put some footage here. This is what it looks like. It's sped up. The game overall, like I was saying, was goofy. The names here are kind of ridiculous. It's very reminiscent of an RPG of the time. It has the same kind of look and feel as something like Final Fantasy here. The battles are a bit different, but overall it's a cool game to get, and it's one that you just don't see very often. Alright, so here's the savers that we're going to check out today. Here's a game called Guess How Much the 10-Footer Costs. Before I show my savers pickups, we'll flip these over and see the price tags. Here's a copy of Hangman. $3.99, not a bad deal if you're looking for it. Even comes with its own battery. Can't really beat that. Here's a copy of Payday 2. I actually know nothing about this game, but it's $2.99, and on the back here it says rob banks with friends, and it's 4-player. I mean, the artwork and the plot alone has me sold on this game. Here's one of those golden books. They still make these, so here's one for Toy Story 3 that's done kind of in a vintage fashion. I just thought it looked pretty cool. Here is a PS1 controller, an ONE. You can tell because it's white and it has that specific input. This came with the mini model. This is a Videomatic. It's a storage container for like N64 games, Super Nintendo games, and PS1 games. I found a couple of these in the housewares departments of savers, and for $3.99 I'm going to pick this one up too. It's just a convenient way to store games. Here is the video game shelf. There's a bunch of 10-footers. Here we got Wipe Out the Game. I almost picked this up. I'm not exactly sure why. It was $1.99 incomplete, but the lines were too long and they weren't opening up any more registers, so I left without it. Here's the 10-footers. Look at these prices. $9.99 for the Game Gear game. Can you believe that? $5.99, $4.99. I mean, they couldn't pay me to take those games. So here is what I ended up picking up at Savers. This is the Videomatic. That's what it would look like with games in it. I cleaned it up and it looks great. I have a couple of these, and like I said, they're just a nice convenient way of storing games. And here's Payday 2. Again, I hope this game is good. I've played some trash like Brink and Duke Nukem Forever, so even if it's bad, I don't think it can quite be that bad. But I really am excited to play this game with 4 people. It's just, it has me sold just from the beginning. And these are all my finds from Savers last week. Alright, so this is that indoor exclusive flea market. You can tell it's pretty much cleaned out for the summer because everyone's doing the outdoor ones, but I happened to be near here, so I decided to stop. Here was that game pile from before with Wii Sports Resort and Guitar Hero 3. The game wasn't in Wii Sports Resort and Guitar Hero 3 was 5, so I passed on it. Here's what seems like endless copies of the full screen version of Incredibles, but this one's getting thrown back into the abyss. Here's an official NES Power Brick. Pick them up whenever you see them. Here is some other lady's booth. The prices aren't that bad here. A slim PS1 for $30 isn't the worst. And here are her games. They're $5 each or 5 for $20. There's a lot of 10-footers here, but if you're just starting collecting, you could probably find 5 decent games in here for $4 a piece. Here's a silver GameCube controller that one of the vendors sold me really cheap because the rubber on the thumbstick cover is missing, but this can be fixed very cheaply and very easily. This is a bag of thumbstick covers that I already have, replacement ones, and all I'm going to do is take it apart, clean it, and replace that. As long as the cord and input jack are in pretty good shape, you should be good to go. This is what it looks like afterwards. It's been all cleaned up and I replaced both of the caps. It looks great. Here are the old caps that I removed. Again, you're going to see more and more controllers like this, so you might as well take advantage because you can get it relatively cheap and fix it up. I also found this Chronicles of Riddick Escape from Butcher Bay bonus DVD that came with a pre-order. I love this game, and I've never seen this, so for a couple bucks, I was definitely going to pick this up. And here is that NES official Power Brick. Pick them up, like I said, whenever you see them. So the guy charged me $10 for all this. Really can't beat it. Everything cleaned up really nicely. Alright, so we're going to hit a GameStop also this video. And here's a couple games that I just wanted to point out. This Wartech game took me absolutely forever to find. It's one of those just really cheap Xbox games that you just don't ever see. It's an okay game, but it's just one, again, I just don't ever see. Sonic All-Star Racing Transformed is one of my favorite games pretty much of all time. I mean, I think that this game is as good as Mario Kart. It's really great, and how the cars transform throughout the level is just so amazing. There's a copy of Star Wars Lethal Alliance. It's $5, but this game is complete. And you don't see a lot of complete DS games, GameStop anymore. They're pretty much all card only. So to see this really kind of maybe do a double take. Here's Plants vs. Zombies. I've talked about this game before. I'm going to talk about it again. It's just a really, really great game. The artwork is just amazing and it's just very, very fun. Here's a 10-footer that I've never seen before, The Amazing Race. Well, I shouldn't say that. Maybe it is good. It's based off the TV show This thing says it's for 2 to 4 players, so I'm guessing you can't play the single player? Makes no sense. And then lastly, what I want to show here is Nicktoons MLB. This game does great fan service to both baseball and Nicktoons. I had this game on the 3DS, DS, one of the two, and I loved it. I played it for hours. It was just a really fun game with tons of different people to choose from and lots of things to unlock. And this is what I ended up picking up at GameStop, the only one game, which was Star Wars Lethal Alliance. I don't see this game very often, and it looked pretty cool. So complete for $3.99. I mean, it was cheap enough for me to pick up. Here's one of the few yard sales I went to that I actually found anything at. This one had advertised some PS2 games, and this is one of the very few times where it was probably better to be here second than actually get here first. This lady had this lot of 46 PS2 games with the console for $150. I'd asked her if she would just sell me a couple, and she said no, she wanted it all together. But as I was leaving, she said, you know what, someone was here before you. There's a sign right there, and he asked the same thing, and I told him no, but maybe I should sell it that way, so sure, you can pick out games and I'll give them to you for $3 a piece. And there's definitely a bunch of 10-footers in here, and just stuff that I didn't really need. But I did pick out a couple things. First is this iNinja game. I think I've talked about it before. I love that game. Thrillville. Kingdom Hearts is great, but I already had it. There's that PopCap Hits game I've been wanting to try, but I passed on it this time. Spyro, Legend of Spyro: A New Beginning. I picked up a couple weeks ago, but I have a buddy looking for it. Sing It. This box is just awesome. Dog's Life. And then on one other yard sale, I saw this Ronco, and I just love the Ronco, even though I don't have one yet, so I just wanted to show this. Set it and forget it. So this is what I ended up picking up from that yard sale. The first is Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 3. I actually just noticed that that's the wrong manual, but I've never heard of Night of the King Kong before, so it was pretty good. I've been looking for that game. Here's iNinja. It's actually one of my favorite games of its generation. It's just really, really fun. I do have it on Xbox, but my copy's beaten. It's missing its manual, so to get it in this condition, it was great. And then Spyro: A New Beginning. I did pick this up a couple weeks ago, but I have a buddy looking for it, so for $3, I would definitely was going to grab it for him. And then she had a box of 25-cent toys, and this Predator figure was in there. Probably had the accessories, but I wasn't going to look around for them. And I didn't pick up too much, but this is what I got last week at some yard sales. So here's the outdoor flea market that I go to every Saturday. It's a beautiful day out. I'm here early. There's tons of people here. There's just stuff to be found. This is a great flea market to go to. It does cost $1 to get into, but it's definitely worth it. And there is an inside portion also, and a hot dog vendor. So as I'm going around, some guy had this Xbox One Power Brick and this 360. This thing is most likely red ringed. I have no clue how much it was because he just left his booth, but I was not going to pick it up even though I'm looking at it. Some guy had these Game Gear games for $2 a piece. I probably should have picked up a couple. I didn't actually end up getting any. And then he had this booth. I fast forwarded this. That's why I didn't actually look through them this quickly. But he originally told me that these were $1 a piece and I was going to pick out a bunch. And then he came back and said, oh, those are actually $2 a piece. Which, I mean, if you're picking up 10-footers or just stuff that that's just going to sit on a shelf, I mean, $1 is much easier to stomach than $2. But there was pretty good stuff in here. Again, if you're just starting to collect. The Godfather of the game, that's probably pretty good. Lego Star Wars is good. There's a Tony Hawk game. So there was some quality stuff in here. There's Ridge Racer, God of War 2. There was a bunch of racing games in there. And then this guy here had a bunch of games out front, and he said they were $3 a piece or 3 for $5. I did a double take because I'm like, 3 for $5? He's like, yeah, that's what I said. So I'm just going through them here. That the Lego Harry Potter years 1 through 4 was one that I've been looking for. There's a bunch of 10-footers here. I mean, Skylanders. What else we got here? Some Tiger Woods, Medal of Honor, Jack and Daxter, Halo 2, but there is some quality stuff here. So 3 games for $5 is a steal. And there's the Duck Dynasty. I have beaten that game. Yes, I've said that before, but I'm not going to pick it up here. And then this is another person's booth. Just sadness in a box. There's a PS2 with just these sports games. Not even honestly worth the plastic that they're made on. And then one of this guy's booth here, he had this copy of Grand Theft Auto 5, and I almost passed on it because he wanted $10, but then I realized it was factory sealed, and I have been looking for it. This guy has this wall of like GameCube and PS2 and Xbox games, and they're all $5 a piece. And there are probably tons of gems to be had here, but you're going to have to look. You're going to have to search around. So here's what I picked up from the guy selling games $3 a piece or 3 for $5. Here's Need for Speed Carbon, which is a great racing game. Here is Lego Harry Potter on the DS, and it's complete and actually in really, really nice shape. All this stuff is in pretty good shape for just pretty much having just been thrown in a bin and not taken care of. And here's Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy. It's the first one in the series, and one of the cool things here is the manual is actually like a fold-out map. And again, I mean, all this stuff is in pretty nice shape. 3 for $5, that is an absolute steal. The $5 wall, I got Simpsons Hit and Run. Yes, I did pick this up on GameCube a couple weeks ago, but my Xbox copy is the greatest hit and it sticks out like a sore thumb. Time Splitter's Future Perfect, this is the only one in the series that I still needed. So to find both of those at $5 was an absolute steal. Like I'm saying, you're gonna have to dig. And then here's that copy of Grand Theft Auto 5, still sealed. I never got a chance to play this game. I've watched people play it, but I'm really excited to start it. And here's the last thing that I got at the flea market that I don't have really any good footage of. Here's Wii Sports Resort. It's complete and it's in amazing shape like it's never even been played. Here's Wii Sports. Somehow this cardboard box survived just being thrown around in the back of someone's truck, even though the manual does have some bending there. Here's a boxing manual for New Super Mario Bros. Wii. I couldn't find the game, but I did find this copy of Red Dead Redemption. So the guy gave me all of that stuff for $12. Thanks for watching. What have you been playing, listening to, reading, and what did you pick up last week? Let me know, and as always, stay nerdy.
Getting your nerd on, getting your nerd on, getting your nerd on.
I got a raging nerd on.